This is the 2023 Honda Civic Type R right behind me. So this is the second generation of Type R in the United States. This is based on the 11th generation Honda Civic platform. Let's take a look. So here it is. We've got a revised front grille and a huge opening down below the front of the bumper here for what looks to be a much larger intercooler. We have this sort of honeycomb style grille happening here. You've also got a much more aggressive front end than the regular Civic or the SI. I think it's looking super, super sharp. Oh, I love this red. And we got these little air extractor vents right behind here too, which looks really good. And check out these wheels. These wheels and tires are bigger than the current generation, which sits on 245 tires. Now we've gone up 20 millimeters, and these are 265 30/19s. It looks like we got some Brembo 4-piston calipers up front, and this is sitting on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. So these are very, very sticky tires, and this car is the business. This is a track special. And what I appreciate about this car is that there are very, very few track-capable cars that you can buy right from the showroom floor in 2022. This is the 2023 model. There's very, very few cars that you can take to the track and also go to the grocery store. And I know that the earlier generation had some cooling complaints about the track. Well, look at this. Check out this intercooler in this here. This is massive. And check out the radiator in here too, if you can see that. I think they have probably fixed this. And we also have a very, very cool air extractor, heat extractor right on the hood too. Oh, this thing is looking sharp. So we got this lower valence right over here. Pretty big rear brakes too. And this is a square tire setup, which means we got the same size tires front and back. These are super wide, super sticky. And check out this insane spoiler over here. This thing stands really, really tall. So they kept the insanity of the last generation, but hey, they made it a little bit more chilled out than before. So you could actually take this to your corporate meeting and not feel completely ridiculous. Now, some of the elements that they did keep were the triple exhaust that we have right here. And we have a pretty aggressive lower valence here too. And of course the logo is the same as before. So let me know your thoughts on this. I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. I really like it. So we're here in Torrance, California at an airport to check this thing out. So Honda's being a little cagey about the details of this thing here. We don't have the full details, but let's see what we think is going to be under the hood here, because with the other vehicles of this generation, the new generation, the 11th generation Civic with the SI, for example, and the regular base Honda, we've got a carryover engine from the last generation. And so with the SI, we're making 200 horsepower. And in the last generation of the Type R, we're making 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And Honda says that this is going to be the fastest version of the Type R ever. So we're pretty sure we're going to make more than 306 horsepower, and I'll give you my estimate just a little bit later in the video. Oh yeah, this is a white one here, and we got an interesting detail is that these rear doors are unique and they are special to the Type R. These doors are actually wider than any other Civic, and you can see here the doors sort of flow into this rear fender, which is also wider to accommodate the super wide sticky rubber. And the front fenders as well are super wide too, to get all this rubber under here. Man, imagine what this car would look like just a little bit lower. It's gonna look so badass. So one thing that we know is that the suspension has been updated on this, and we've got some pretty big brakes here too. These are 12 inches up front with the 4-piston Brembos. And of course, this rear wing is specific to the Type R too. Now I'm in the back seat, and there is a ton of space back here. This is a very, very spacious cabin. This actually is a bigger cabin than the last generation Type R, the hatchback. So even though this is not available in a hatchback, we actually have a ton of space back here. And you can check out this cool red carpet that we got here too, and these very, very nice. It's got the same honeycomb design that the regular Civic does, which is really, really nice. We have a 9-inch display up there in front of the driver. It's 10.2 inches, and we're going to get in the front in just a second. We also have some red contrasting seat belts in the back here too, and also in the front. So check out the interior. We have these bespoke seats which are unique to the Type R. It is sort of an Alcantara style fabric. It's very, very grippy, sort of a suede type of thing. In the doors we have these little red insert in here too. So let's sit down. So unfortunately the display is not up, but I'm going to put the display up on screen right now. Same controls that we had before. The seat is super, super comfortable. And let's check out how this shifter feels. Very light clutch. Oh, that feels really good. This is a short throw shifter. It feels very, very positive. And in terms of being able to heel and tow, yeah, no problem being able to heel and tow in this vehicle too. So the pedal box is really, really good. Of course, we got the 6-speed manual transmission, which of course is the only transmission that you can get in this car. Very comfortable. These are really nice seats. This is a very simple, dedicated interior. And this does have a unique display over here, which is going to have a lap timer. And it's also going to have some information about your G-force and your gear indicator and all the sort of performance stuff you'd want to know when you're driving on track, because this is a track-focused vehicle. Now I'm in the back seat, and there is a ton of space back here. This is a very, very spacious cabin. This actually is a bigger cabin than the last generation Type R, the hatchback. So a ton of space back here, and you can check out this cool red carpet that we got here too, and these very, very... Now so far they haven't released a lot of information about the specs on this, but let's speculate for a second. I think this is going to be pretty accurate. So we know that they have the same drivetrain in all of the other 11th generation Honda vehicles. So they've carried over the 1.5 liter turbo for the regular Civic and the SI, and over here they're definitely going to carry over the 2-liter turbo that they have in the current car, but they're promising more power. For the 2021, we're making 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Now, Honda is a very conservative company, so my guesstimate is that we're going to make in this vehicle somewhere between 310 and 319, something like that. I don't think it's going to break 320. That's just sort of not the way Honda does stuff. I could be wrong. But I do think we'll get a bump up in torque. They've kind of alluded to that. So I think that 295 pound-feet that we're seeing in the last generation, I think that's going to be higher. I think we might see as much as 320, and I think it's going to come on at a lower RPM because they're promising better drivability. They're saying this is faster. They've been testing this at the Nürburgring, and this recently set a lap record for a front-wheel drive stock sedan in Suzuka, Japan. So now in terms of pricing, they haven't announced anything yet either, but the last generation was running about $38,000, $39,000 with destination. So my estimation here is we're going to see something around 40 to 42 base price. Let me know your thoughts, and thanks for watching. There's going to be another video on screen right up here. See you soon.